All right, this is what you need. You're looking at my channel. Hope you guys are having a good time. And I hope you enjoy the fights that come up. So, we're going to talk a little bit about, as you can see, we're going to talk about Tank versus Pitbull. We're also going to talk about the aftermath of Devin Haney versus JoJo Diaz. Feel free to join as a guest on this stream, and there's a link for it. Just be, of course, respectful and turn your mic off when you're not talking. Okay. You can also leave your comments in the comment section, of course. This is going to be hot. It's fight nights, so we're going to get it on, baby. We're going to get it on. We're talking, of course, about Tank versus Pitbull and the aftermath of Devin Haney versus JoJo Diaz. All right, so that should be dope. Let's hear what you guys have. First of all, what you guys going with? I know some people are saying, oh, Tank going to knock him out. I don't know, man. I don't know. My prediction is that this fight goes to decision. That's my prediction. I don't know about you guys. I said that Devin Haney, he would face JoJo Diaz. We got a comment. One comment by Jay Home in my ass. Sup, bro? YouTube was hating on you this morning. For real? Yes, it was. Yes, it was hating on me this morning. That's for real. That's for real. JoJo versus Haney was a good ass fight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is true. That is true. I added 7-5 Devin Haney. You know, JoJo came on strong in the last couple of rounds. The only problem JoJo had, my dude, was that I think he, for some reason, didn't press the attack enough. And he had the opportunity to press the attack, you know, once he landed those body shots on Devin Haney, but he just didn't. But as I said before, I told y'all JoJo was no joke. I told y'all that. Told you. Even Devin Haney acknowledges JoJo, you know, smart pressure, you know, keeping his defense tight and coming in on his opponent. So yeah, man. You know, tonight's gonna be an interesting fight, man. I don't know much about Pitbull, but from what I've seen of him, he gonna bring the heat. He gonna bring the pressure. So as I said, for my prediction is still the same. I think this fight goes to decision, and Tank wins the decision. I think Tank's gonna have to outbox Pitbull. Pitbull's a problem, and Pitbull comes off his jab. He does everything correctly, you know, and he breaks guys down. He'll bring the heat. And I remember Tank saying that, you know, he's not used to facing guys shorter than him. So this is gonna be a very interesting fight. And you look at Pitbull and how compact he is and how strong he is. I don't really know if Tank will knock him out or not, you know, because, you know, some people say, well, Pitbull leads with his head. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He stayed real low, too. He get real low. So we'll see what Tank brings to the table. I want to see what Pitbull looks like fully hydrated first, though. Because when he came into the weigh-in, man, that dude looked skinny as hell. He looked like a skeleton. And that's not Pitbull. So I have to assume he lost a lot of weight to make that 135. And then he blows up to something like maybe 155, 160. So Pitbull is a big, strong dude. I saw him. I know he's a big, strong dude. So I think Pitbull might be even bigger than Tank in terms of weight and size. So, and he looked like he could take a punch too. So he looked like he got a chin. He looked like he's very aggressive. He reminded me a bit of Sean Porter. So we'll see. I mean, he's not as skilled as Sean Porter, obviously. But he do a lot of things interesting. Homeman Man says this is the year of the upset, so anything can happen tonight. And then again, he signed with Pac-Man Promotions. You know, Sean did not just sign nobody. He ain't signing just a nobody. You know, and he wanted this fight. You know, when he got it on short notice, he was like, Pitbull just jumped at it. It was like, yeah, let's have it. And he was going to be on the undercard anyway. And if you do remember, Pacquiao, Ugas jumped at the opportunity to face Manny Pacquiao. He was on Manny Pacquiao's undercard. So there's a lot of things about this fight that, you know, it could go whichever way. You know what I'm saying? That's boxing. So, but I think Tank will be up to the task. I think Tank will box him, and I think Tank will. Could he hurt Cripple? Anything's possible. Tank got the pop to hurt anybody, but I think we'll see more of Tank boxing, and we might actually see Tank go the distance for once in a fight. And I'm cool with that. I'm really cool with that. But that's the kind of fight, because just too much. Like I was saying, you know, they were talking about Beeb's program, and you know, Joe Habib and the other guy, and they, you know, they were saying they don't want to pay for this pay-per-view. I think you better pay for the pay-per-view, because I'm telling you, man, Pitbull, you know, there's a reason they call him Pitbull. And I just think this is going to be a good matchup. This is going to be a good one. Nobody really knows about Pitbull like that, obviously, but I think this is one of the guys that's going to give Tank a run for his money, you know, in a different sort of way, more in terms of pressure. So this is going to be interesting when Tank is not necessarily the weight bully, even though we saw him in the way and push Pitbull aside. But that's because Pitbull wasn't, of course, full-fledged, full-strength Pitbull. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure when Pitbull rehydrates and everything, he gonna get that get back on Tank. You know what I'm saying? Bro, break down the Derevyanchenko versus Adames matchup. Oh, I didn't know about that one. Actually, you just told me about that. So Thomas Adames versus Derevyanchenko. Ooh, that looks like a good fight too. You know, I think I don't know which one Thomas Adamak. No, this is not Adamak. This is Adamays. I don't know who this guy is. Who's Adamays? Or Adames? Who's Adames? I don't even know who that dude is. I know who Derevyanchenko is, but I don't know who Adames is. You know, I think Carlos Adames, he's a decent fighter. I haven't seen him, man. I have to take a look at him. But you know, over the weekend, Anthony Yard won his rematch. He stopped the guy. So Anthony Yard actually yesterday did his thing. So he avenged his loss. So that's gonna be interesting as well. J-Ho Milmaz says, I think Carlos Adames, he's a decent fighter. Hey man, if you want to pop on here as a guest, feel free to do so, J-Ho Milmaz. The StreamYard link is up here. Okay, yeah. So your pick, who you pick for Tank versus Pitbull? Like I said before, I think the fight is going to go to a decision. Actually, this is going to be the first fight I think Tank doesn't knock out the person that he's facing. I may be absolutely and controversially wrong, because I don't really know Pitbull like that. I only saw little clips of him. I saw 1 or 2 fights of his, and he was devastating in those 2 fights that I saw. And you know, all of those things match up to something. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to, bro, but I'm at work. Oh, you're working. You're working. Okay. That's cool. That's all right. Shout out to the next viewer that I see on this stream. There's only 2 viewers on it right now, apparently. But I'm glad that the comment section is actually working here. I don't know if on YouTube the comment section is working, but at least it's working on StreamYard. Yeah. What you need in the building, of course, we're talking Haney versus Diaz, the aftermath. So I'm hearing some people saying how I'm hearing some people say that they believe George Kambosos, he's going to beat Devin Haney because Jojo Diaz did the kind of work he did on Devin Haney. First of all, Jojo Diaz is a southpaw, and second of all, I believe that Devin Haney actually faced a tougher opponent. Jojo Diaz is actually a tougher opponent than Kambosos. Kambosos brings pressure, but he doesn't bring pressure like how Jojo Diaz was doing it. Smart pressure, you know what I mean? Shout out to Boxing. Oh my goodness. Get This Smoke is in the building.
What up, brother man? What's happening? It's been forever, man. What's happening?
Ah, man, this is great.
Live, you dropping links. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, it's been way too long. What's happening? You're looking good. Skin is shining bright. I like your haircut. Looking
Thank you very
clean.
much.
Nice to see you. Great to talk to you again.
Yes, man. Get this smoke is in the building, Joe. And Jay Homel Maz is also in the comment section. He's at work. Y'all is real boxing junkies. I love you guys. What's up, people? Let me start off with you, man. What did you think of Devin Haney versus JoJo Diaz? Let's hear your take on
it. I thought it was a good fight. I may be cracking up right now. Just like drove up to my house and get like terrible service in spots. But I'm gonna keep going through it. I thought it was a good fight. Pardon me. I thought Devin Haney won it on of course ring generalship, defense, and I think clean hard punching. But JoJo Diaz definitely showed that Devin Haney has some things he needs to show up, especially when it comes to that left hook that found its place. But Devin Haney is very hard to hit with like a 3-punch combination. Even with the shorter arm, guy who is experienced with working on the inside. So I think it was a great developmental fight for him. I like the progress of Devin Haney. If you give me Gary Russell Jr., I let him have a couple of fights at 35. Let's see that fight.
Ooh, yeah, Haney versus Russell Jr. would be a fantastic fight because they share a common opponent, JoJo Diaz. And actually, JoJo Diaz tagged up Devin Haney more than he did Gary Russell Jr., which is very interesting. I mean, it's a different matchup in terms of, Southpaw versus Southpaw versus Southpaw versus Orthodox. But nonetheless, it's very interesting. Not to say that JoJo Diaz didn't do well against Gary Russell Jr. as well. It's just that he didn't have that amount of success that he had against Devin Haney, in my opinion. He really finished strong in the 12th round. Not to say that Devin Haney didn't walk his ass down in the final minute of the 12th round after JoJo emptied his clip. But I'm just saying, tremendous fighter.
JoJo's also a better fighter now than he was against Gary Russell Jr. Like he was, he used to have to plant his feet to throw a shot, right? So he was just following Gary Russell Jr. around, trying to get his feet planted so he could work to the body. And Gary Russell just wasn't having it. He'd hit between punches, like let him not get set, get out of the way, all that shit.
Yeah, Joe Homel Maz just hailed you out, man. He said, "Oh shit, sup? Get this smoke."
Yeah, what's up, baby?
Yeah, man. Hey, the other thing I want to talk about with I was impressed with Devin Haney because I did not think he could get past JoJo Diaz, to be honest with you. Even though I predicted a split decision win for Devin Haney, I was wondering how he's going to handle those inside body shots. And JoJo did land some nasty body shots on the inside. It got Devin Haney's attention, and he stood up to it. You know what I'm saying? He stood up to it. And I also love how even though JoJo Diaz cut off the ring and got him in a corner, Devin Haney still was able to use the ropes and fight off the ropes so brilliantly, and JoJo just couldn't do nothing with him on the ropes. That was kind of very impressive. There are very few fighters who can do that. So
very educated jab, very educated uppercut,
and that right hand, like he was using a lot of weapons, man. He was using a lot of weapons, and the in and out movement of his footwork. So he's not just pivoting, but he's coming closer to you, further away from you, and then he's using that jab to keep you occupied. I mean, it's just beautiful stuff, man. Just beautiful.
To me,
stuff.
JoJo's game, like his weakness of his game has always been his feet.
Right.
And then secondly, his defense, right? But he showed better feet and better defense last night.
He's got impressive defense, though. He blocked a lot of them shots.
I'm saying he's gotten better over the year. Like last night, he put it to what he showed better feet and better defense.
And he's really shines well on the inside. Like he throws 3, 4, 5 punch combinations on the inside. And JoJo was landing pretty much anything he threw. He landed at least 1 or 2 shots in there. And it was, the ones he was really trying to put the heat on, which was very impressive. Again, JoJo's not really a knockout artist, but it was still very impressive what he was doing with Devin Haney. And all he needed to do was put the gas on it a little bit more because both of them, you could see the defensive wizards. And even Devin Haney gave, JoJo a lot of props by saying, he's not just a pressure fighter. He a smart pressure fighter. Like he approached it real smart, bobbing and weaving and dipping and sliding and that kind of thing. So as I said before, I knew JoJo Diaz was that good. But Devin Haney showed me, man, even when JoJo was crashing him in the 12th round, he showed me he could weather those storms, and he knew what to do. He knew how to get low, dip in, dip down, but don't dip down into a punch, and keep a certain distance. So even when he's fighting him in the pocket, he's keeping the advantage of his distance. He's using that lead hand so very well. Even when JoJo, when he really needs the distance to crack that uppercut on the inside, he used the forearm, put it on JoJo's, by his neck area, just to make that just enough space there. He spaced himself out just enough to get that uppercut in there. It's just beautiful to watch. But JoJo, don't get it twisted. JoJo was doing his thing too. Not only just slipping and sliding and using the high guard appropriately, kind of like a Canelo. I think he's more skilled than Canelo, to be honest with you. But also the way how he will counterpunch Devin Haney. So if he let Devin Haney go off with a right hand to the body, fake to the head, come down to the body, he let him do it, and then he counter him with the left hook when Devin Haney throws it. So all those little tricks that JoJo did and pull out the bag, I really enjoyed it. What you
I think he definitely showed like the veterans are definitely showing Devin Haney what's up, right? He's getting the W's, but he's showing him like, yo, you gotta, you still have some work to do before you go around talking about you're like the complete finished article, right? And that's why I'd like to see that that Gary Russell Jr. work, because I think he has the attributes. Maybe Gary Russell can move up right now and fight at 35. I just think it would be be wise if he took a tune up first, because he wasn't the biggest puncher at 26. So like moving all the way to 35 and taking on Devin Haney. I think
listen, not everybody's like JoJo, because JoJo, that's what I try to explain to people. JoJo got very good defense. Better defense than Canelo. Canelo's very refined, but Canelo cannot deal with guys who move. JoJo can. So, and keep his defense tight. So JoJo's a special, like, people don't understand how special that guy is. And what Devin Haney did, when I heard people say that Devin Haney, he would lose to Kambosos, I'm like, dude, do you understand he just fought a guy that's better than Kambosos? Does he understand? Does anybody understand this? They think that you can just get JoJo out of there. Nobody's ever gotten JoJo out of there. Nobody. And that's because of his defense. You know what I mean? And JoJo has way better defense than Kambosos. Kambosos is a hell of a fighter. Doesn't fight like JoJo to start with, but JoJo's a boxer. JoJo started off boxing, right? So JoJo, as much as people say he has slow feet, he does have slower feet than Devin Haney, but he got quick enough feet to keep up with all the other guys. You know what I'm saying? Because he just fought Javier Fortuna, and Javier Fortuna has relatively agile feet, and JoJo was keeping up with him, right? Even when Javier Fortuna hurt JoJo was on the back foot boxing, and he was cutting the corners and cutting the angles in the ring. So JoJo can do it. It's just that with JoJo, his feet aren't that fast, but unlike Canelo's very precise with what he does. You can see he's well rehearsed and whatever. Canelo's phenomenal when it comes to that. But when it comes to skill, JoJo got way more skill than Canelo. Way more skill than Canelo. I'm not talking about hone skills. Canelo had more hone skills. But I'm talking about skills, as in what he could do in that ring. JoJo can do way more than Canelo. Canelo, he could box a Triple G, because Triple G doesn't move that fast on his feet either. But like a quick-footed guy who's really fast and explosive, JoJo was hanging with Devin Haney. Even when he got hurt on the back foot, he knew what to do. Canelo can't do that. You see, Canelo can't do that for 12 rounds at least. JoJo can. So there's a whole, and JoJo, even the way how JoJo throws his combinations, you could tell he was old school trained. You could tell his old guys that trained him. And you can see it in his corner. His grandfather and his father's there. And so JoJo know a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. He don't have the fastest hands. He don't have the quickest feet, and yet he keeps up with guys. And that's because he has the timing.
That's the one thing about Kambosos, is I think he has faster hands,
and faster feet.
And both faster hands and faster feet. I think his hands and his feet can at least land another shot I don't know if he can get that third shot off because Devin does like to
No, he
disappear on
won't
you,
let
right?
you. He won't let you
Right.
get 3 shots off. No,
Yeah,
so
yeah, right, right. So, and he's not like he's a 1-2 guy that he's just gonna like knock you out. I don't know. Yeah, like he's accumulation guy. He's got a lot of heart though, and there's no substitute for heart.
he's clever too.
If you can,
He's clever.
and
He's very
and
smart.
if you can make and in fight adjustments, right? All that's
Yeah,
like very dangerous stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, I still think Devin's better, right?
Of course, of course. We saw, dude. He got by this kid, Jojo Diaz, who's on a run. He's on a run right now, and he beat Jojo Diaz, and Jojo Diaz knows that because his corner was telling him you need to throw more. And the thing was, it was Jojo was a little too cautious with Devin Haney. He said something was wrong with his eye or whatever, but he was still a little too cautious with Devin. Like he should, when he got the opening, he should have just thrown like what he did in round 12. He should have thrown all those bunch of combinations on him, really put more heat on him. Now he's the only guy in Devin Haney's whole entire career so far that's gotten that close to face. In my opinion, when my scorecard was 7-5, he was close enough, to make the fight close enough, right? It was not as close as I thought it was going to be. But if he had put a little bit more pressure on Devin Haney and a little bit more, like when he got the opportunity, when he closed the gap and he started throwing his combination, I know Devin Haney was counterpunching him. I saw when he counterpunched him. That's why he froze up and he said, hey, you know what? I'm going to do this more sensibly because I want to preserve my eye. But still, he should have kind of, like, once you get on the inside on this guy, you throw caution to the wind and you just run your combinations. And then you can move to the side and try it again. Pivot around him and try again. And just you gotta put the heat on him. Otherwise, it would be a serious problem, with Devin. Because Devin, like you said, Devin don't let you put 3-4 punch combinations on him. I mean, Linares was fortunate, the only guy to drop a 3-punch combination that actually landed on him and stun him, right? But nobody else has ever been able to do that, and I don't think anybody else will ever be able to do it after this. The opportunities to beat Devin Haney are slowly slipping out the window. Okay, the only guy I think that can probably beat him is Shakur Stevens.
Now that's a hell of a fight, but I still need to see Shakur. Like he's still a weight division down, right?
Yeah.
Like what he did against Herring was impressive.
Very.
But like what I would like to see really is Tank and Shakur. Like that's
Shakur
one.
will beat Tank. Shakur will
again?
beat Tank at this point in time. Shakur will beat Tank.
I don't
Tank
know.
has mad skills, but I still think Shakur is way more disciplined than Tank is. Still,
I mean, right, but it's I understand that, but it's just the guys that Shakur Stevenson has fought are not Tank, right? Like none of those dudes. I don't think he's been the smaller man, period, in any kind of way, right? It's just kind of like I think Tank might have as long a reach as Shakur. I'm pretty, it looks like he hits a lot fucking harder, right? They're both southpaws.
Tank hits harder. But
right.
that means what? What does that actually mean?
I mean, I'm just talking about not harder than Shakur, but harder than his opponents, right? So it's just like he's looking good because those punches are not having the same effects. They're not having like a Tank-like effect on the punch, right?
Oh no,
they don't have that kind of snap.
No, hell no.
Right, so it is kind of like I'm not quite sure how that would look. I think that Shakur's a taller man, but I'm not sure.
Excuse my French, but Shakur could fuck you up real bad. Like the problem with Shakur is, yeah, he's not a one-hitter quitter like Tank, but you saw what he did Jamal Herring's face. Okay,
I did, but I also think Tank's a lot better than Jamal Herring.
Well, but my point is,
like not
Tank would Tank would probably stop him. Period. Right.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, he would get one big punch and be knocked out unconscious.
Yeah.
Shakur punishes you. You're getting punished round after round after round. That Shakur drill. He's beating the shit out of you. That's worse than getting knocked out. You get what I'm saying?
All right. So Shakur is good on the back foot. He's good on the front foot.
Oh yeah.
He has a
Well
pretty tight
balanced.
defense. I think
Well balanced.
that Tank is probably better on the front foot than he is on the back foot, but both of those guys are really fast, right? So
Well, this
both of them trying to figure out each other's timing is going to
right.
be a thing. Neither one of them throw tons of punches. Like their shot select, they're very selective with their
Hot shot.
shots.
Yeah.
It'd be an interesting. It's an interesting matchup for me. I still think Tank probably. I don't know. Like it's like raw
It's
talent.
possible.
Tank maybe have a few more wrinkles, but Tank doesn't make a lot of in-fight adjustments. He changes like his punches and his shot and like his targeting, but not necessarily his strategy. And
Right.
so
Well, the thing about it is we're going to see Tank on the back foot for this fight. I think this is why I'm interested in this fight, because Pitbull, he don't take no steps back.
Yeah, but Tank
So,
moves a lot of lateral movement though, and he's like I think way too fast for. It's like
well,
if you can juke him, and like you're going the other way by the time he reacts, like it's just over.
But
Like
here's
that's
the
the whole
thing.
thing. You're just gonna get him going left and right, and
Well,
bam.
but here's the thing. Here's the thing. We know Tank can box, right? We've seen him in the amateurs. But what I'm saying is, Pitbull looks like he's strong as hell, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, no,
if he can take.
It's a speed though.
I know, but I wouldn't
speed.
be surprised if Pitbull can handle Tank's power, at least for the moment. Because Tank's going to look to feel him out, see what he could do, what he can't do, right? And Pitbull can cut off a ring. So I want to see. I know Tank can box. I understand that, right? So I know we saw it against Pedraza. Pedraza was going on the front foot against Tank, and Tank was boxing him, right? So we know Tank can box. What I'm saying is though, with Pitbull, he don't play around. Like he really he puts his foot on the gas from round one. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no. Listen, that dude has a tremendous motor. He's got a tremendous motor. It's just that it's kind of like he's just a rum. It's like a truck versus not really a tank, right? It's just that he's just not very fast. That's the whole thing. Like he does his hands are fast, but his attack is pretty much like it's plodding a little bit. It's a little like
and he's gonna get caught. He's gonna get caught.
But I'm saying like for Tank. Like when you see like Leo Santa Cruz, right? If you remember that fight, and you saw that the guy had the longer reach, right? He's throwing like tons of shots. What Tank started to do,
Mario Barrios.
Even Mario Barrios to some extent to what I'm talking about, but to a lesser extent. But he started going left to right using lateral movement, right? Yep, just because he knew the dude couldn't actually catch up to him speed wise. So even though there was like a ton of success, and I think that Leo Santa Cruz is a much more talented fighter than Pitbull, right? He doesn't have a lot of power.
Early in Pitbull's career, so we can't really say until his career is over.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like what we saw from Leo Santa Cruz was some veteran stuff, and also some stuff that like using your attributes, their physical attributes, advantages that Pitbull doesn't really have. That longer reach, that work rate. He was using that stuff.
I ain't saying nothing. I just want to see Pitbull face him because I have a feeling. I seriously have a feeling, just like with
what's going to distance
with Kambosos. That I think that dude got a lot of heart, and I think that's gonna be big.
A young dude with a lot of heart, that's good, but he's slow, and you don't have a back foot game against a guy that
got no back foot game.
Knocks out guys that you never like. I don't know. Like Pitbull is a lightweight, right? I mean,
he a full-fledged lightweight.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying. Listen, we only seen Tank fight at 135 one time, and he didn't really look that good, right? At 136, but at 140. He looked really good, right? So he looked okay on the scales. He didn't have like you remember the Gamboa fight. He had a double chin. He didn't look like
it looked
like he ate himself out of the 130 pounds, right?
Oh,
Um,
he in ripping shape right now. He's on a
right.
totally different level.
Yeah,
Diet,
exactly.
everything.
Yeah. The Tank is a little bit dialed in. It looks like he's coming into his own. He's
Oh yeah.
doing his own. It's not like Floyd Mayweather stunning him.
No.
It looks like like he's about to treat dude like a replacement fighter. From what I can tell, it doesn't seem like Tank
Man,
is.
that would be dope. But I just want to know. I just want to know if that happens. That'll be cool. But I've heard about this dude called Pitbull,
No,
and
yeah.
this is Pacquiao Promotion signed him. Why would they put? Why would they sign a dud? You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no. I mean, he was on undercards. Like, wasn't he on the Tank Barrios undercard? Like, he's
Yes, he was.
been groomed. Like, he's been grooming for this thing,
Yeah.
right? So it was just kind of like, I'm not necessarily surprised he's getting the call up. He looked
And he
impressive
looked
in
like
that
he's
fight.
hungry as hell.
Yeah. It's just like,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, determination, opportunity, and like you said, he's a young guy and he's thick as hell. I just don't think that like
he got no
I
neck.
just think it's levels. I just think it's really level. Like,
oh, absolutely, I agree with you on that. But you know those Mexicans, they
step up in
tough
competition
as hell.
Like if you look at everyone who is on Pitbull's resume,
right?
Oh, that I don't know how they prepare you for a Tank.
Well, Diego Magdaleno is a southpaw. He was done, but still, he was a top, lightweight at one time. Of course, Teofimo Lopez wrecked him, and now we see Pitbull wreck him. And then the other guy that was notable was I can't remember the guy's name right now, which was last year or was it this year? And he wrecked that dude too. And then and usually, he wrecked them faster than the other guys wrecked him. So that's why Pitbull's getting in the position he is in now. But we'll see. I mean, it was a last minute change up because, and those last minute change ups, they're interesting. So
they can be. I mean, especially if you got a game dude. If you got a game, like it's just
he's super game.
So I think Tank's gone to the cards one time in his career, right? So it's just that. Like that's really kind of the intrigue. The intrigue is, can dude see the final bell?
That's what I think. I think he's going to see the final bell. I actually think that Tank is going to box more. So you're going to see more of what Tank can do. At least we all know, you and I know what Tank can do. But for the average folk out there who, they only know Tank as this explosive knockout artist, they're going to see what Tank can do. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm really looking forward to, seeing Tank box him. Even if he gets him out of there later on in the fight, at least y'all will see, a lot of people will see that he can box. Tank can box his ass off. He's really great.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It'll be like kind of like how we see how Boots Ennis, right? He's just kind of like just fast. He's just like just way too fast for his opposition, right? It's like you can do it. You start playing with guys when you're like, well,
that's the thing with Tank. Tank don't play with nobody.
All that stuff, right?
If Pitbull don't belong in the ring with Tank, we're gonna know that real soon.
Yeah.
Tank don't play. Tank goes in there and does what he needs to do. So if the fight actually goes on longer than usual, it's because Pitbull's showing that he can do something.
Yeah, I think Pitbull looks like he could take a hell of a shot.
Oh hell yes, I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah. I mean, he just looking at the dude like he looks like he's ready to go. Then Manny Pacquiao got some, he can pick some good fighters. Not hating on his picks.
Sean is the guy, he's president of his company, and he picks good ones. You got a couple guys from the Philippines coming up under Pacquiao Promotions that them boys bad. I'm telling you right now, they're bad boys. I've been watching them.
I mean, he's got respectable talent. I think he's actually maybe better at picking talent. Like the quantity than Floyd, but Floyd just has like better thing. Like Tank and Devin Haney. I guess Devin Haney is really more like his dad, but like Tank is a hell of a find. Adrian Broner is pretty good find. But Tank, that's three running beside that guy, man.
Tank was a hell of a find, for real.
Yeah. But you know that's more of an Adrian Broner fine. But I'm just but he signed Mayweather, so
Right,
Mayweather
right,
found it. Let's say that's a Mayweather fine.
right. And along with Tank comes Truck, and then there's a whole bunch of other guys from that same Bangers Boxing Club and gym and everything. That I mean, there's a lot of talent and a lot of skill and a lot of gifted guys, you know, that could come to the game. So, you know, I'm totally invested in seeing where these guys go. You know, Devin Haney, man. You know, we got some incredible fighters in this era. You know, people always talk about throwback eras, and I'm looking at this era like, are you kidding me, man? Yeah, you serious? You serious? Ain't you seeing who's in front of you? Okay, they're not all matching up at the same time, you know, like we would like them to match up. But god damn, we got Shakur Stevenson, we got Terrence Crawford, we got Jerome Ennis, we got Virgil Ortiz, we got Teofimo Lopez, Lomachenko. Listen to the names. This is ridiculous. You know, these are ridiculous names. You know, Josh Taylor. When you see what they have accomplished so early in their careers, it's ridiculous. You know, everybody looking like, okay, for you, yes, okay, Lomachenko's a little overhyped, but come on, man. The man fought
No,
at super featherweight. The man fought four world champions. They were literally world champions when he faced them. And one guy who is a contender at super featherweight. That's ridiculous. And those four champions, Guillermo Rigondeaux was one of them. Axeman was one of them. You remember Axeman, Nicholas the Axeman Walters?
Yeah, both of those are kind of asterisks for me, but I hear you.
Yeah, there were some conditions, you know, he wasn't fighting or nothing, and he had to make weight and all that, but
he wasn't really motivated in the fight game. Like he got off the couch to make that fight, pooped out in the middle of the fight, and then went right back to the couch. Right? It's not and never fought again. Right?
We haven't heard from him after that because, you know, Bob Arum does. That's what Bob Arum
we didn't hear from him before that
okay?
or after that. It's just kind of like dude was gone, and then Rigondeaux was moving up to division. Like that was like a money fight because he's just not getting fight. Like it's kind of
But I mean, my point anyway is you still can't take away from Lomachenko. They beat Rigondeaux and he beat Nicholas the Axeman Walters. You can't take it away.
Both W's. There's those W's. It's just kind of like when you say you beat Rigo, like Rigo's not a 130 pounder, right?
No, he's a bantamweight.
It's just kind of like, okay, yes, but if you're trying to get some shine, you gotta get some 130-pound shine off of Rigo.
But yeah, but the thing is,
I'll give you Nicholas Walters because it was literally just a year removed, but you know he was clearly not motivated, right?
Okay, but let me put this in context, okay? Rigo sparred 160 pounders and gave them the fits, okay? So the only thing I can say is this:
I'm sure
Lomachenko was at least better than those 160 pounders. And I'm talking guys who were world champions and shit. Rigo was like schooling. Okay. So think about that when you're thinking of Lomachenko, because what Lomachenko did to Rigo, I was vouching for Rigo. I thought Rigo was still going to win because of his skills. And when I saw what Lomachenko did to him, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give you credit. I'm gonna give you props. Because
see, I gotta tell. Let me. So I don't mean to interrupt. I saw Lomachenko live. I went to the Mariaga fight, right? I saw him live, and I was like, "There's two guys that they're going to start trying to pair him with, like talking about. There's going to be Rigo, who's too old and too small, and Mikey Garcia, who will knock Loma the fuck out. So he's not going to be fighting Mikey Garcia. He will not be fighting Mikey Garcia. He will be fighting the old, small Rigo. And then I was like, I was like, 2 years, Tank will knock Loma the hell out, right? It's like 2 or 3 years.
Okay, so let me put this in context, all right? Lomachenko can't mess with this generation of fighters, period. I don't care if it's Ryan Garcia, if it's Tank, if it's Tio, if it's even Kambosos, right? Kambosos sparred Manny Pacquiao. In fact, Lomachenko can't even screw around with Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao will put him to sleep, right? But having said that, his resume is ridiculous. Period.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. That's all I'm saying.
No. I mean, for a guy who's like, what is he like, 15-2?
Yes.
He's like one of the best 15-2 resumes in boxing history, right?
Ever. Yes. That's my only point. Okay. So that's why I say
the only knock on it is that he was beaten both by guys who aren't considered to be like the business. So it's kind of a weird thing that you're going to be beat by Salido and Gambosis.
Teofimo Lopez is the business. It's just that.
I mean, sorry. I mean, Teofimo Lopez. Sorry. Teofimo Lopez was, I mean, at that point, all he fought was at Comey, right? So it's like
Comey. No. The only champion he fought was Richard Comey.
Right.
You cannot take away what Nakatani did to him because
I'm not talking about what Nakatani. But I'm not taking what Nakatani did to him. I'm taking away who Nakatani was, right? I never was impressed with Nakatani, which is why I'm saying Teofimo wasn't the business. Like the fact that was like what Nakatani showed was that Teofimo has huge defensive deficiencies, large ones. It wasn't even about like whether or not he's a thing. And we saw it got play out in the Loma fight. It's just that Loma got started really late and he had whatever issues adjusting to the size and the speed and all that stuff that and that body shot that Tio put on him, right? But even still, once he weathered that storm, we saw how the kinds of hands Loma was able to put on him. And we just saw Kambosos also do the same thing. So it's like 3 straight fights. What's impressed upon me is that Teofimo Lopez defense, that shoulder roll that he tries to do, and his approach to defense needs shoring up. Needs a whole lot of help.
Well, this is what I'll say. I'll say that I agree with you on he has work to do. Okay. Kind of knew that a while ago. We all knew that, but nobody was really saying that. It was saying Tio would beat this guy and beat that guy, but whatever. But the thing that I'm saying is he actually was fast tracked. And actually some of the competition he was blitzing was guys nobody was blitzing, right? So that's why because Top Rank was moving him along really nice. And it seems as though they had their plans for him to face Lomachenko. Tio kind of messed it up because he kind of wanted to do his own thing instead of stay with Top Rank. And
it wasn't that.
Even fired certain people he fired from his camp, like Joey Camacho.
But even that,
it's kind of like a Deontay Wilder thing. You don't fire Mark Breland. You do not fire Joey Camacho. You can put them in a secondary role if you want, but you keep them on the team because they senior people. They seen action. They know what it is. They know how to strategize. So it's like, he got rid of Joey Camacho. That's another reason. Carabosis was like, you're going to get your ass beat because that's a stupid move you just made.
So here's the thing, man. If you the person that was on the undercard of that Mariaga fight was the guy that they were actually grooming to face Lomachenko, and that's one Raimundo Beltran, right? And that guy ran into Richard Comey. That's what derailed the entire thing that they were building up for the.
That's so lame because Raimundo Beltran was beaten by Terrence Crawford. And that's many years before. He an old dude. And if you notice, Lomachenko was only facing more older guys, right? Guys of his generation. He wasn't really facing young gun stunners. So
exactly, they were trying to build up Raymond Beltran to feed to Loma in a fight, but then Comey beat Beltran. So then it became who's a replacement. So it turned into the winner of Tio versus Comey. But it wasn't that like Tio was this brilliant guy, or even Comey was this brilliant guy. It was because Ray Beltran wasn't even that brilliant guy, right? These are just the guys that were the replacement for the fight that Top Rank was trying to force down our throat.
Yeah, but Tio, don't get it twisted. Tio got skills. He got.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that the guy, like you said, he's fast tracked. He's a developing guy that got fast tracked. He had all the attributes to beat a Loma, the fast twitch, the reflexes, the confidence. They hadn't lost the fight. They, focusing only on that.
Nobody talks about Tio's jab. He has a really good jab. He just doesn't use it enough. Like even in the fight against.
all kinds of talent, right? It's just, and also all kinds of focus on that one guy, right? Whereas Loma is like looking at history, but Tio's focused on that one guy, right? So it's just kind of like you have all of the makings of all you have to do is perform under the lights on the night, and you're good.
I'll be honest with you.
Even though I say that's all you have to do, that's a huge thing, and he's able to do it. He was able to talk the talk, and then also walk the walk under the lights.
Yeah, I think the problem with Kambosos' fight was Kambosos went through hell before he faced Tio, so he was training his ass off. Because what Tio hit Kambosos with would have knocked out any other fighter that not of that caliber. Kambosos ate some punches, right? He ate some punches, right? It wasn't like Tio wasn't teeing off on him, but Kambosos was mentally in a totally different place. So what Tio would have normally knocked out guys with, like when he dropped Kambosos, he hurt Kambosos. He couldn't finish him. Right? So it's not that Tio, is substandard. It's just that Kambosos had prepared himself. He was hungry. Tio wasn't as hungry. And you could tell Tio wanted to avoid that Kambosos fight. He wanted to avoid that Kambosos fight from a long time ago, I think. That's my personal opinion. And Kambosos proved that, he was the better man. And he is the better man between the two. But that doesn't mean everybody beats Tio. I don't
think everybody beats Tio either. It's just more of a. Well, first off, I don't know if the Tio's even at 135 anymore, right? He's saying that he's
gonna be at 140. He's going up to 140.
Right? So it's just kind of like the lightweight division. Like, I don't know what's going on with Ryan, right? Like, there's this he's like Mr. Independable kid kind of thing. Like, you don't know who's gonna happen. He's got his whole life in front of him, all these opportunities and options. And apparently his head is swimming.
Some kind of depression, some kind of mental whatever. Or he just wants a break. Who knows? I have no idea.
Whatever it is, it seems like it's some little kid shit. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on with the guy. Maybe it's grown man shit, but it seems like some he needs on time. I have no
idea. He got baby mama drama. He got all kinds of things outside of the ring. So
yeah. So there's that happening. His outside the ring thing. You got an aging Loma. I think Kambosos and Loma and Devin Haney are definitely like the cream of the crop. Like, is Luke Campbell still around?
Oh my God, so. That's the guy that Ryan destroyed.
Yeah, Bunny's gone. It's time for like 130s to move up, but even those guys, not really. Like, Burchelt is not really a good 135 pounder. He looked like crap at his 135 pound fight against a dude that was like completely outmatched. Yeah, I don't know. And also was coming off a knockout at 130, but that was, I don't know. Yeah.
You got other guys like Raleigh Romero in there. Raleigh Romero talks a lot of trash.
Yeah. But you tell me. I felt like he lost to that Martinez guy. Was his name Martinez? Was that his name? The fight before last. Yeah.
Raleigh tried to get the rematch, but Martinez moved on to bigger and better things before he got stopped.
Yeah, and from what I saw, Rolly needs a ton of work before he's like a mentionable at 35, in my opinion. He seems like a sideshow attraction.
But he's exciting.
Yeah. He
talks a lot.
Like the way he looks when he fights, like he looks mad, like he looks like somebody that people want to either. He looks like a polarizing guy. Like, everybody who's polarizing.
Yeah, well, Raleigh's a work in progress.
They feel like he got the good hair, so like, anyway, it's just kind of a thing. Like,
but Raleigh has no amateur experience, right? He just jumped into the pros.
I mean, yeah, of course, you can tell. Like, that's what Martinez like completely explodes. Like, how technically weak this guy is.
Well, he got some defense. And stuff, but he got a lot of work to do. Yeah, that's probably why Mayweather and they just kind of pulled him from it, because I don't think that the allegations of rape or something, it was enough to stop the fight from happening. I just think Mayweather was like, nah, you ain't ready for Tank.
Yeah, on what planet is Rolly Romero going life and death with Martinez equals like, I mean, I know you want to keep that money in house and make all the in house cash you can and yada yada yada, but like,
I think this fight's better than that fight. I know
yeah.
you can't really tell. They have to actually fight to know. But I'm just saying.
Oh, listen, if you gave me Pitbull Rolly,
Pitbull,
right?
Pitbull,
I think that's what they're doing. I think that's what I'm saying, that Pitbull is a better fight. Also, Pitbull Rolly is a actually better fight than Pitbull.
Pitbull beats Rolly. Pitbull beats Rolly. I think Pitbull beats Rolly.
Exactly. That's why we're seeing what we're seeing. I think they do the old bait and switch kind of thing. Like, oh, here's an up and coming, like a guy who's controversial, and we'll have a bunch of stuff swirling around him. But the actual fight is a guy like Pitbull, right? And I don't know that. Yeah, Pitbull beats the shit out of Rolly in my mind. Sorry.
I might be, yeah. I mean, Pitbull. Well, anyway, we'll see what Pitbull could do against. They ain't just calling Pitbull for no reason.
I do, but I don't. Yeah. I think Pitbull is a much better inside fighter than Rolly, and easier and actually able to get in on the inside.
Way more aggressive than Rolly.
Yeah, and I think he's better on the front foot than Rolly is on the back foot. And Rolly's better on the front foot than Rolly is on the front foot.
Rolly's super slow. Pitbull's much faster than Rolly.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. Like that's a guy that Pitbull would love. Like he's like, dude, can I get the Rolly fight and then the Tank fight?
No, Mayweather wouldn't want to get a fighter wrecked. They protect Rolly for now.
Yeah.
Until he develops.
Yeah, you gotta protect that dude.
You gotta protect, because Rolly would be like, I can knock him out. Yeah, but dude, by the time you throw the knockout punch, he already landed 5 or 6 punches on you.
Oh yeah, you are looking mad and shit, right? Looking mad and stuff while you throw punches. Nah, man, that ain't gonna make it.
He can punch though. He can punch. That's
he can.
He can punch, but that's about it. You gotta work on his game, man. You gotta work a lot more on his game. He'll get there. They'll move.
Look like he was like born in the back of the alley. Like his day-to-day existence is rough and tumble. Like he's not tripping. You're like all that mad face thing you got and like trying to hit hard and all that. Like whatever, dude. That's Wednesday.
Yep. Power don't mean shit if you can't land it. So that's really. But I like him though. He's very entertaining. He's very tenacious. He's ready to push the anvil. I just think that would have been a tall mountain to climb facing Tank, and it could have wrecked his career.
Yeah,
Tank ain't no guy. You don't play around with Tank. Tank don't go in the ring to play.
No, he loves hitting you to the body really hard. Like
Rolly's not on Tank's level. Rolly will know about it in the hospital the next day.
See, what people don't understand is like if you have a sustained body attack with well-placed punches, combinations, and power, that takes fights out of you. Like that takes the fight out of, like that changes careers altogether. Like if you see guys like that, the boy before and after these kind of fighters, it ain't they're just never the same. Sean Porter was never the same after the Errol Spence fight. Neither's Mikey, neither was Kell Brook, neither's Danny. Like, and he fought Danny a little bit different than he fought those dudes, but it's still like there's a difference between, throwing 50 body shots and throwing 150 body shots.
And the thing about it is, Spence not only goes to the body, he goes to the head pretty well too. So it's punishment. Yeah. He's a punisher. Spence will punish you.
Those dudes that like to hit you to the body really, really, really hard though. Like Tank and Canelo and Spence and all that, just like wear that out, good luck afterwards. Yeah,
I mean, but I give these hungry fighters, what I like about it is we're getting much more competitive matchups. So we're getting much more hungry fighters. And it's making it harder for me to pick who's going to win, who's going to lose. Even with the Kambosos Teofimo Lopez fight, I didn't pick who was going to win because I was like, man, first of all, this fight was put off too many times. Then Kambosos is real confident, and he's breaking. He's spilling Teofimo's files on everything because they know everything that's going on in Teofimo's camp. And then on top of that, Teofimo and his dad saying some crazy ass shit all the time and not focused. Like they talking about the Devin Haney fight and they talking about all kinds of things except for Kambosos. Right? They not staying focused on Kambosos. I was like, I'm not picking this one. Everybody else is saying
my man was he was talking about everything from Wilder to Floyd Mayweather.
I mean, the dude was all over the place, right? So he wasn't focused. So I was like, and Kambosos was just like you drill a hole through your face. You know what I mean? He was just that focused. So I was like, nah, I'm not picking this one.
Yeah, I hear you. I as a Tio fan, I felt like I felt that there was a lot going on before the Loma fight, and I was kind of feeling like he wasn't going to rise to the occasion because of all of that stuff before then, and so I just kind of like shrugged it off as this is the Tio circus. This is what he takes. This is what it takes for him to get motivated. Like like some guys like. You have the big entourage and they need all the hustle and bustle so they can focus and be in their own world kind of thing. I think Floyd Mayweather's like that a lot.
All I know is he came out, what he said he was going to do, he tried to do. So he came out in the first round, really putting pressure on Kambosos, but he didn't realize Kambosos was ready. He was super ready.
Right. So his game plan seemed like arrogant also. Right, it didn't seem like it was a game plan that was based on like Kambosos being a worthy opponent. Like I'm going to knock you out in the first round.
He said he was going to stop him early. He said he was going to stop him early, and he tried. I mean, he tried. He was walking him down and everything, and counter right, boop, there you go. Whoops, there it is. Yep. And he had to respect Kambosos from there. But whenever Tio jabbed, he was winning the rounds that he jabbed in. He didn't do it enough. And I know why he didn't do it enough. Because Kambosos kept on answering it. Anytime he throw any kind of jab, Kambosos had a combination coming, and Kambosos had his jab, or he had a left hook coming.
You have something to think about, baby.
Triple left hook. Triple left hook. You saw that? He leaping with a triple left hook, or you hook off the jab. And I was like, damn. Oh yeah, and anything he hurt Kambosos. Kambosos still throwing punches. He would just dip down low and throw overhands, and I'm like, God damn, this dude ain't going nowhere. So I knew Kambosos. He was ready. He was ready for that fight, and he has to stay that kind of readiness. He has to keep that edge and that readiness if he wants to beat Devin Haney. You got to be rough and rugged. See what JoJo was starting to rough up Devin Haney. Be rough and rugged and throw him down and stuff. That's what you got to do with Devin Haney because he ain't gonna beat him in boxing. You're gonna have to rough him up.
Yeah, Kambosos is
he got skills.
I think he's good. I just special.
He got skills. He got skills.
Like it's a difference between being good and special, but we'll see. He's
not gifted. He's not gifted, but he is talented and he is skilled. No doubt about it.
One thing, and he got some intangibles, man. That hard. There's no being mentally strong.
That's because he trained. He went through hell. The confidence these guys have in the ring is because they prepare their ass off. It's not because they just have confidence like that. I mean, they do have confidence like that too. But that's not enough. You have to be confident in your abilities. And he knew what he was capable of doing, and he knew he was ready. So that's why he was able to do what he did. His conditioning was ridiculous. Training camps can be pure hell, right? Like guys get dropped in training camp, they get busted up in training camp, and you learn. That's how you learn to deal with any situation, right? Some guys they fight blind in training camp, like they blind, literally. They put a blindfold on them and they're fighting these dudes. and you have to hear the punches whistling at you. Like that's how you detect the punches. And it's a lot of shit goes on in training camp. A lot of shit. If people knew the half of it, people would actually tune in for training camps.
Man, so I'm reading I'm reading the Jack Johnson Inside the Ring and Out, right?
Right.
And this dude is talking about how he and his training camp guys chased a kangaroo down like they were a pack of dogs. Like,
Jesus
you know,
Christ.
that's what they did for fun. I guess that's it. Like they in Australia, that's a thing that they do with dogs. They're like, okay, cool. It's like me and two other dudes. We're just gonna chase this kangaroo until we find it, until we wrestle him down and kill him. And that's what the hell. That's what they did. They chased this kangaroo for hours until they got him.
You know Vasily Girov, right? You remember him?
Yeah. Man, that's that James Tony fight.
His trainer took a German Shepherd. He's in an alleyway and just released the German Shepherd on him. And he told the German Shepherd to go kill. And Girov had to outrun that shit. Or turn, face it, and kill it.
Oh, and he still ran out of gas. I can still picture James Toney looking at that exposed midsection in the 12th round.
That's the training. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Mentally and physically and spiritually, we got to talk spiritually too, because some punches you never see. What I mean by that is some guys are so fast. Like Howard Davis Jr. They're so fast, you're not even seeing their punches. Or Sugar Ray Leonard, you wouldn't even see it. So you have to feel their punches. Literally, you have to feel the punch. You know when this guy's going to throw a punch. You don't see when he throws it, but you feel the punch coming by and you move out of the way. It's crazy. Like, I was listening to, who was it? The guy who beat Eric Morales. The black guy that beat Eric Morales. I forgot his name right now. And you should listen to that guy talk some knowledge about boxing. It's crazy. Like, you know, how you able to, because you're not fast as a guy, how you able to move out the way or block the things that the guy's throwing at you? It's through feeling. And you even hear Sugar Ray Leonard talk about that, you know, how he felt this day he woke up, he knew he wasn't going to win the fight, or he was going to win a fight by biorhythms and all that stuff. And so it's a spiritual thing. That's why they say boxing is spiritual, it's physical, it's mental. You have to get all those things. It
always has to come together on the night.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. You know, so guys feel punches. Like sometimes you ain't see the uppercut, but you felt the uppercut coming up. You just move, you just slide, you shift a little bit so it passed by you. Yeah. You didn't even see it, you just felt it. It's crazy. So, you know, that's boxing, man. I do a little bit of boxing, but I'm nowhere near that. Like, I'm still in the fundamentals. But dude, man, the shit I heard about and read about and saw is crazy, man.
Yeah, I don't want to have that happen to me. So I'd like to watch it and I'd like to learn about it, but I totally don't want to do it.
Done it?
You've done it, I'm right? I don't even want to. Like, that is like, you know, like, so you know, I hung out with some really high level amateurs, and just messing with those dudes like hours a day for years never made me want to actually get in the ring with any of them. Like, it was just kind of like they were like just playing around. Her ribs would hurt like after a couple hours. Like, just hello was very painful. Like, like that's just how boxers are, especially like with friends and all that. Like, you gotta smack them. If you're gonna hang out with them, then you're gonna be chucking them.
Yeah, you gotta be tough.
For hours.
You gotta be tough.
Yeah, it's not even. It's just like kind of spontaneously happens. It's like what they do throughout the course of a day.
Yeah,
they just start throwing punches. Next to when somebody who's around them will start throwing punches back. It's like, oh shit! Before you know it, you might be involved in some intense thing for like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
10, 15 seconds. You don't know what the hell's about to happen to you.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, you know, even when we see what people think is the slowest boxer on television, them guys quick, man. They quick. It's much quicker than what you see on TV. You know, what we call bums. Them bums can knock. They could put an untrained guy to sleep. Them bums.
Man, it's like learning to protect your body, to stand right, and to protect your body is very tough.
Yeah.
Also, keeping a guy off of you who knows how to get on the inside is also very tough.
Yeah.
Like
I agree,
sustained action is very tough. Like a
yeah.
minute of a guy like who knows how to get in and hit you in the body,
Bro.
it sucks. It's
It's
like
very, very
the minute,
stressful too, man. You burn up a
the
lot of
minute,
energy.
like the minute you get hit, you want for it to stop. Like you don't want to
Of course.
continue. Yeah, you don't want to continue boxing. Like it's kind of like, okay, hold up.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. I mean, I guess I signed up for it, but not really.
Well, I like it though. I like it. I've realized I don't like it hit. So,
Of course,
nobody.
that's what I'm saying. Like I like to
But
know that if
but
I know how to handle myself if something goes down. That's why I
right,
like
and
to box. But
also more importantly, I think it really helps you to know yourself better. So how you would react to something instinctively also kind of plays a role in boxing, you know, situations in life and whatever. So I find it very cathartic,
yeah,
cathartic,
cathartic.
cathartic,
Cathartic, yeah, but
cathartic.
it's
Yeah,
also a pretty good
very
workout
good.
for men of a certain age because
Dude,
you just
listen.
keep throwing punches and all throughout the day.
Especially you
You
find
find yourself.
yourself wanting to be a violent person or you want to lash out at something, it's a great sport for that because you get to calm down sort of like because you're in there with somebody else who's just wants to hurt you as well. So it kind of like even if you get a punch, even if you get hurt, you want to hurt that guy back. You know what I'm saying? You want him to feel what you felt.
Yeah. Well, see that the thing, I could take a face shot a lot better than a body
A
shot.
body
Like
shot, yeah,
body
yeah.
shot makes me not
Nobody like
want
body
to do
shots.
it anymore.
Nobody like
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, and
nobody.
it's like it's not like whatever fun I was having, like that shit what goes out the window for
So
the
this is
body
what
shot.
you do. You pay back the guy for doing that to you. You learn how
Yeah, if
to
you
do
have
body
to.
shots really, really well
Yeah, if you have to.
to
The
get
other
them
part
back.
of it is like those dudes, like
Get them
yeah.
back.
Anyway, yeah,
Get them back. That's what you got to do. When
I
you
mean,
really feel
I like to get my give back. Don't get me wrong. I love to return the
right.
licks. And I love there's a reason why Terrence Crawford is one of my favorite, my favorite guy walking the earth right now. Is an active boxer, right? But yeah. I'm not.
He's a
I'm
bad
not that
motherfucker,
mad. I'm
man.
not that mad.
He's
I'm
a
not
bad
that
boy.
much mad. Like the thing about boxing is you kind of have to be a jerk, right? You have to kind of be an asshole. I'm just not that much of an asshole. I mean,
You
I'm an
don't have to
asshole,
be.
not that much of an
You don't have to
asshole.
be an asshole.
The
Because the
hell you
nice thing
don't. Like,
about
because if you hit
boxing,
me, shit, that hit you. If you hit me, I'm like what I'm about to do back to you. That whole thing, like that whole mentality. Like
that's the thing.
first
It
off,
literally
like
allows you
that
to
is
do that.
first off, that's the base level. If you hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you back. The actual
Yeah.
pinnacle is I'm just gonna fuck you up.
Yes.
Like that's really what the mindset you have to. That's actually the mindset you have. And I'm
Yes.
like, nah, bro. I'm not trying to walk around with the I'm about to fuck you up mentality.
No, but what I'm saying, well, listen. You're not gonna fuck them up all at once.
I'm just saying like a fighter, like those fighters. That's what the mentality they have all the damn time. They go through life like this, and I'm like, okay,
Well,
listen, I can admire, I appreciate it, but that ain't me. That's all I'm
what
saying.
I'm saying is, okay. What basically a boxing mindset is for life is if life fucks me over, I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna bring back the pain to it. I'm gonna fight. I'm not gonna sit back and give up and fall up in the ball. That's what boxing's about.
But
The
that's
essence of
the game within
boxing.
the game. But that's the game within the game. I'm just talking about the way that you have to actually look at your fellow man, like the way that you have to interact with them. Like
Well, think about
like to me, and that's all I mean by asshole. Like I don't like I said, I'm an
you're not an
asshole.
asshole because the other guy is thinking the very same thing to you.
Correct.
So it's
All you
fair.
have is a couple of assholes. That doesn't mean that the guy is not
No,
an
it's
asshole.
fair.
It's just two
That's
assholes.
war.
I didn't say that it wasn't fair. I just said
Right.
that it's not. I just said that it's a mentality that I necessarily don't want to do. Like that's what I'm saying.
Fair
That's
enough.
all I'm saying. Like
Fair
if you
enough.
want to do it, all the fighters that I know have this in common. I'm like, and they're friends of mine. I love them to death. It's just,
Right.
it's what I see about Terrence Crawford. I love this dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has that kind of, that you better go to your fight before you don't make it to your fight. That kind of shit. You know what I mean? Just asshole shit. Like,
I don't find it's assholes. That's my personal opinion. I think it's fair.
it
I
certainly
think
ain't Gandhi. Like this. It
you're getting
certainly
paid
isn't like
for it
some
and
nice guy
everything.
stuff.
It's not nice guy stuff. It's war. Why would I be
right?
Why would I be nice to you and I'm going to punch you in the face? How can I be nice to you?
Would you like would you do you think it's a diplomatic and probably even a nice term to call like your typical war zone soldier an asshole? Like, isn't that like kind of wouldn't that even be like the nicest way you could fucking call someone who's probably like slaughtering your family?
I wouldn't call him an asshole. He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, okay.
He doesn't take it personally. I don't take it personally. If it's war, what do you want him to do? He's representing his
I hear
country.
you, man.
It's war for him. What you're calling an asshole, for his people, they see him as a hero. And if I defend myself, remember, I can defend myself. So let's say he does kill some of my family, and I retaliate, and I kill him, and I kill some of his platoon. Am I an asshole? Absolutely not.
Okay, let me ask you this.
I defended myself.
Let me ask you this. Let's say, you're a soldier in one of these war-torn areas, and every now and again, there's some kids that may turn into like enemy combatants, right? But you don't know when that happens, and kids approach you all the time. So what you'd like to do to disabuse these kids from approaching you is, you might put some pepper spray on some candy and give it to the kid. Is that an asshole thing to do?
I wouldn't do that. You just suggested that's probably something you would do. I'm a different human being.
I'm just saying, it's self-preservation. You're not necessarily trying to kill.
First of all, I wouldn't do something like that.
Everybody safe, but
but remember, I understand that they are trying to do things in the best interest of. They're the enemy. They're doing things in the best interest of their country and their people, right, and their families. So I'm not mad at them. But I'm not going to put myself in a position where they could do something to me. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to understand.
I think those are the measures that they're trying to use. Like, so what measures do you take that are like reasonable to make sure that we're all good? Like, I think
in war,
non-lethal poisoning.
In war, we're talking about war here. We're not talking about peace.
Well, no, but okay. So what they say is peacekeeping, right, or peacemaking.
Okay,
but let's just say active armed conflict, right? But you're a foreign soldier in an occupying armed conflict.
Yeah, then I got to do my job as a soldier. Now, the thing about it is, don't get it twisted. Just because I'm a soldier, remember I take orders, but it doesn't mean I'm not a person who doesn't believe in humanism. I may care about people. So depending on if I could trust certain people, or if I know the layout of the land, how things go where they live, which I may or may not know, depending on how much information I know about the place, I would take certain measures that once again, I'm a soldier, so I have to obey orders. Depending on my ranking and depending on a lot of variables, it would determine how I proceed. But you're talking about if you have to wear a hat as a soldier, it's totally different to being a civilian. You don't really make decisions of your own. You have to follow orders.
Well, no, there's orders that you follow, but like there's no one ordering you to like put pepper spray on kids' candy.
I wouldn't do that.
Right? I'm just saying that, the motivation behind doing it is still about like self-preservation. It's still an armed conflict.
Yeah, but that's just not my thing. See, like
I hear
I
you.
don't.
I understand. I understand you. I'm just saying that
I
for
prefer
me,
head to heads. So like
uh,
I like a level playing field. So I would go head to head with whoever. But and if you're shooting a gun at me, I'm gonna shoot the shit back at you. You better be able to take it back as you give it. You understand? You dishing it out. You better be able to take it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I move. So it's a level playing field.
yeah,
And if you
it's the becoming familiar with it, becoming getting close to you. Like, how do you count
so simple.
my
It's simple. If the
mean
people
damage,
are
right?
not hostile to me, if they're not hostile to me, okay, or my platoon that I'm in, I'm not hostile to them
Right.
because
Right,
it's all
right, but
about
those get you. That equals occasional casualties, right? That means you're going to be shooting second. But I'm not even going down this
right.
road. I'm just saying I'm
Maybe,
more of a
maybe
consequentialist. I'm more of a consequentialist about this whole like asshole thing. And if the
right.
consequence, if the end result is, I'm holding the bloody corpses of my family, I'm probably going to, at the very least, consider the person who did it an asshole. Right? That's
Man,
probably the very
I
least
wouldn't
thing.
consider I'd get my revenge. You know what I'm saying? And if it's war, we're not talking about civil life, right? Because check this out. If
I mean, I'm
a
not
guy
saying I
comes and
wouldn't become an
murders
asshole
your
back. I'm
family,
just saying.
if a guy comes and murders your family in a civil society, there's laws in place to try that person, right?
Hey, it doesn't matter. Like whatever the circumstance, I'm still going to consider like unless my family was attacking them, and even still, I would be like, this asshole killed my family.
I hear you. I hear you. I know what you mean, but I can't go there because you never know what the conditions are where
Yeah, I
somebody
know.
killed
I
your
know. I
family.
know.
You know?
I know.
Yeah.
It's just I'm just more of a consequentialist about the whole thing.
I hear you, man. I get you. I understand where you're coming from with boxing, but we're not assholes. I think there's a certain breed of person
Oh,
who
I'm being very specific about the kind of asshole I mean, right? I mean um, that you want to do damage to get a victory. You want to do physical damage on someone to get a victory.
absolutely
And sometimes it comes down to just always being like trying to one up somebody, regardless of like, even if there's no competition happening whatsoever. Everyone can be just fucking chilling. And then all of a sudden you got to show that you're the alpha man, alpha
right,
male,
right,
and
right.
better than every fucking body
That
around.
happens in
That's
boxing a lot.
like
That
all of
does
that shit,
happen in
right?
boxing a lot. Yeah,
Yes. All
it
that
is a
shit, right?
certain
That's what I mean.
yeah, but not every boxer's like that. I'm
No, it
not
is not.
personally like that.
Just
Yeah,
the really good ones, right? I mean, not even like some of them. I bet the
some
really
of them.
good ones. I remember not. It seems like Andre Ward is not like that, and that's what my
No,
guy was saying. That like that dude's like a kind of a cool dude, but he's also a real asshole in the ring, though. He's a
well,
gigantic
if
asshole in the
that's
ring.
what you call an asshole, I guess we all are because we
Yeah,
all want to
exactly.
win.
Like listen, if you do anything to Andre Ward in the ring,
He
he
gonna
is
get your ass back. He
yes,
gonna get you
exactly.
back.
He's exactly, and he's trying to make sure that you never do that again. Period. Forget,
Absolutely.
forget that. I'm trying to get you back, bruh. You better come a whole different kind of way from here on
Exactly.
out.
I agree. 100%. I don't think that's an asshole. That's
Hey,
standing your
but
ground.
I do.
That's called standing your ground.
See,
That's called
correct.
don't fuck with me like that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is that I think you may think that asshole is a little bit more negative than I do, right? I think
Okay.
it's asshole. I don't, but I also appreciate it and like it. Like these are my friends, these are my love, and I think that I am like this also. Like there's a certain point of that I actually will become an asshole.
Right.
Right? Just
Listen,
like that.
man, if that's the definition of an asshole, call me an asshole as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. There
Because
you
that
go.
is what boxing's about, baby.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. It's like a real asshole. It's not golf. It's not like, oh,
No.
excuse me. Yeah, you could take that stroke again. You need a mulligan? Sure.
No.
Nah.
No. This is a
No, you
contact
get to hit
sport.
me in my face and you can just like walk away. Oh, that's all good. Like
And
maybe after
listen,
the
the other
even
thing
after the
that's
bell,
crazy is
accidentally.
you have to be willing to die, literally. You have to be willing to die. You have to understand when you go into that ring, it's not a game. It's not a fucking game, right? You can get killed in there and easily. So when guys go in that ring, they kiss their trainers and stuff because they know they may not leave it alive. It's a real thing. It's like war, like real war, right?
Bro,
And
somebody
in
put on
war,
Million Dollar Baby the other day.
there's no right or wrong. The referee's in there to make sure there's right and wrong. But if the referee don't look and the referee don't know what's going on, then it's free game, baby. It's a fight.
Yeah, yeah.
That's boxing. Now,
But
now you can say that's where the assholism is in there because some people, they get away with
yeah,
murder. But I'm just saying, regardless, it's a fight. That's just the way how it goes. It's war. There's no excuses. You don't complain. You just get them back, and that's it.
right.
If the referee won't help, if the referee won't do anything about it, you do something about it, and you don't care if you get penalized a point or not. You get them back. And that's boxing.
Yeah, man. So I actually I need to go and do my thing
Man,
for the night.
I
It was
love
great.
this
I
though.
came in.
I love that we had this conversation. This is hot, and I see people still watching it. This is hot because you kind of explained to me why even myself. I mean, I must have a screw or something loose to want to do this, but I literally love this sport so much. I want to do it and do it, as best as I can. And I've taken some punishment in the process, but honestly, I feel so much better for it.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy.
But all I'm saying is the guys that I saw showed me that I am not that kind of guy. Like it's kind of like being like a street dude, right? Like you're not a killer like that. Like you gotta be like guys who are like they don't actually go out and commit crimes, but their mentality is the same. They're like killers, like that's what you have to like be to be at the top of the sport. That's not like I'm kind of like I will turn into one if the need be, but I'm not like going through life like that.
But you got to be in boxing. Boxing's not. It's a hurt business, so it's not. It's not a game. You're not going in there playing games. You're going in there to physically inflict harm. That's just the way how it is. And it makes you honest. It makes you honest to yourself. You have to train because if you don't, then you're going to get badly hurt. So you have to be honest to yourself. You have to be honest to your team. You have to be honest to the other guy as well, because the other guy is looking for the best you. And if you come up short, that's on you. It's not on the person. It's not on the person you're facing. And in many respects, boxing is not even about the other guy. It's mostly about yourself. It's a very selfish sport in that respect. It's about introversion and purifying yourself. And you go up against somebody, but you're really going up against yourself. So it's really crazy, man. It's a beautiful sport, I think, because of that. And I'm not really I know this sounds weird, but I'm a pacifist. But boxing just, I don't know, man. It's just something that I really love. And there's I guess I have certain violent tendencies within me, which is why it helps me to gravitate towards boxing so much.
Yeah, man. Shit, knock it out. If you don't mind that shit, dude, I'm trying to tell you, like getting hit in the body, I got shit. Fuck that.
It's painful.
Anyway, but it's been years since I've actually been able to chop it up with you, voice to voice.
Yes, sir.
I don't have the face to face. As a matter of fact, let me put on the cam right quick.
Yeah. Oh, my dude.
Hey, what's up, baby?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna hop out of here and make some dinner. You're looking absolutely fantastic.
You look fantastic yourself.
I'm liking the StreamYard. I'll drop by and chop it up with you any fuck time.
Yes, man. So what you think of this fight, man? This upcoming fight? You excited for it?
Kind of, sort of. It's Sunday, so it's a little bit weird. But I'm getting there.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to see what happens.
Like the idea that they're doing pay-per-views on Sunday with Tank and thing, like it's just kind of hard for me to get my boxing brain around it. But I think they're like decent fighters, and I'm gonna turn it on.
You know what else, man? I'm looking forward to. There's one more fight for the year that I'm really looking forward to, and I can't remember what it is. It's a good fight. I just can't remember what it is. But when I do remember it, that's what I'm looking forward to. You know, this year has been pretty good with the COVID and everything. It's
Yeah,
been
it
a
came
very,
back. It came
yeah,
back like last. They went like from those PBC cards in like November all the way
yeah.
through like this last year. You know, since it came back, it was yeah, decent. Good fights. Good
I'm
fights.
saying, man.
They
And
get some
hey,
good
let
knockouts,
me
some
say this, 'cause,
clarification.
yeah, you know, a lot of people talk about the loser, and the career. Deontay Wilder is a bad motherfucker. I'm gonna say it again and again and again. He's a bad boy. And what he did to Tyson Fury, he knocked him down. I was impressed. And he's probably
Yeah,
the hardest puncher of all time. Because this dude, he would hit you one punch and put you to sleep. So
yeah, like yeah, like
I'm
going
looking forward
around
to
being
this.
outweighed by 50 pounds,
You know what I'm
by a
saying?
batty boxer.
Oh, come
You know that's going to catch up to you. That is definitely going to catch up to you at some point. The fact that you could come down from being devastated the way you were in the second fight to showing that kind of thing in the third fight,
yeah.
yeah, you know, hats off to the dude.
And I'm looking forward to
Andy
more of
Ruiz
his fights,
Wilder
man.
on pay-per-view isn't like that. Does again, it's one of those things where you know I appreciate championship fighting on free TV. I like those. Like that is really like what I'm used to in the
Right.
sport of boxing, and that's what I would like to have continue. Like you know,
Yeah. But I mean, I'm just saying it was a hell of a fight,
it
heavyweight
was.
fight.
It was.
I haven't seen anything exciting like that in a long time. And those guys getting off the canvas and just keep on
Woo.
going. It's ridiculous.
I mean, what didn't Valdez, not Valdez, Zepeda, no, Zepeda Burchell, that happened in this
Not
little
Patel.
stretch when he came
Not
back?
Patel. Zepeda and
I mean, Zepeda and Baranchik.
Baranchik. Yeah. Baranchik's a hell of a fighter too. He's very exciting.
Right, that
Very exciting.
happened after the COVID. Zepeda Burchell, I mean Valdez Burchell, that happened.
But
Um,
Valdez
eh,
Burchell was great in the sense that nobody thought Burchell would have gotten butchered like that. But it wasn't really like Wilder
yeah, I
versus
mean
Fury.
it was like the thing was it was kind of over early, but Burchell hung on for a few more rounds. Right, it
Yeah,
was kind of over after the fourth round. But it
yeah.
kind of like went on for a few more rounds before he ended up face up. But it was still like a good fight coming back from the COVID.
Oh yeah.
That Jukumbayev Matias fight. Did you see that one?
No,
That 140 pounders.
I can't remember.
That was a banger. Both dudes, you know, have proven lethal against their opponents in the ring, and they fought each other in a real back and forth. Like both of those guys can take one hell of a shot and give one hell of a shot. I'd like to see Tank versus Matias.
I would want to see what that is about. I think I know who Matias is, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, Matias Jukumbayev.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, see that one. Wow, just reviewing the year. You're saying that? Yeah, we are at the end.
Oh, this year? Oh, we had upsets like crazy this year.
Right. So we had undisputed with Josh Taylor and Ramirez.
Yes,
that fight was good. The build up to that undisputed was also that 140 run, starting with the World Boxing Super Series.
Yes.
It ended in the you know that started in 2018, 2017, 2018. So that's like years of build up. Like Howard Davies, Postal, Baranchik, Rigorou. Yeah, like that was nice.
I still want to see Prograis versus what's his name? Ramirez.
Yeah, me too. Let's see, what do we have? Like Canelo's run in 2021, while it was impressive like the legacy's sake, it wasn't like the fights weren't that great in my opinion.
Really? So you didn't like the most recent one with
Caleb Plant? It was all right. I tried to watch it a second time and I like just kind of doze off. I can't like get through it the second time. Yeah, it's just kind of like once you know what the hell is gonna happen, it's just you can see it's kind of a matter of time. I don't know. It's just not.
Yeah, but
I like what Canelo was doing. I like how I haven't seen Canelo's head snap back that much in years. right?
Yeah.
So like Caleb Plant was putting that stick on him. Like I
Dick,
like that one.
Dick. He lucky, you know. He lucky Caleb didn't know what to do once he got dropped. You know, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
problem. Caleb didn't know what to do after he got dropped. Otherwise, this who knows what would have happened.
yeah,
Caleb might have won. He might have won that fight. Might have. He was sticking him
yeah.
everywhere.
Teoloma was that was a all right fight. It was more
Tio
about the
Loma
upset.
wasn't this year though. Tio Loma
It
was
was, but it was after the. I mean, in the last 12
2020.
months, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you know, from year to year, from like Christmas to Christmas kind of thing,
Oh, okay.
or Thanksgiving, like new December to
Well, we had
December.
Pacquiao Ugas.
Yeah,
That was a last minute replacement, and that was an upset. We had Anthony Joshua Usyk.
Usyk. Yeah, that was a
Upset.
pretty good fight. Although I was just really disappointed with the strategy going into that fight.
Joshua, yeah. Joshua Saturday was pretty mind-boggling, but whatever.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
we had Fury and Wilder. That was this year.
Yeah, that was it. That was one of the. That's kind of one of the fight of the years, I gotta say.
It is.
And
hell of a performance by Wilder. I was very impressed.
And you gotta, for Tyson Fury to you know, all my hats off to Tyson Fury, but for that dude to be any fight of the year is a credit to Deontay Wilder, right?
To Wilder. Wilder made that happen.
Because that guy is always in an exciting fight, right? Yeah. Like that guy.
Yes.
Anyway,
Wilder is always in an exciting fight. Always.
Yeah. What am I missing? Somebody? We saw.
We got a bunch of them. We got Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia that happened early this year.
Yeah, that was all right. We saw a
Terrence
different
Crawford versus Sean Porter.
That was an okay fight. I just didn't understand what the hell was going on with Sean Porter and his jab. Like, he turned into like Jeff Horn part 2. It's just like leap in the left hook. Like,
well, because remember, his jab was effective against Errol Spence, but it was really his right hand, not so much his jab.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So it was southpaw. Terrence turned southpaw.
Just kind of. Yeah, because he had a similar thing with Ugas. But anyway, yeah, that was it. It wasn't the fight itself to me wasn't that.
Sean was more hesitant because Terrence kept on giving him so many different looks, and then Terrence was using his lead hand and blocking. So Sean usually has a shotgun jab that he uses. You know, he did it against Errol and stuff. He didn't even use the shotgun jab because Terrence kept on occupying him with his lead hand. So it was like,
it's just kind of like there was through 10 rounds, like fewer than 400 punches. It's kind of like that kind of thing. It's kind of like a bunch of looking and angles and trying to leap in and do all kinds of
Terrence was just controlling them all the way. He's controlling them. So I mean, beautiful stuff by Terrence. You got to give him his props.
I do. I'm just right now. I'm just sort of rating fights, right? Not just like trying to take away from Terrence. Just like the fight itself was okay. Like my middle son was going crazy the entire time. Deshaun Porter, he was like, "Porter doing great. What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Dude,
he was doing great. It was a close fight. I mean, Sean was taking rounds.
I was like, I'm giving Porter like 3 rounds. We were like in the 7th round. We're in this we're in the 8th or 9th round. I was like, dude's won like 3 rounds. I gave him. I
had Terrence up 6-4, so you might be on course there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But my kid was like from round 1. Nah, that's Porter. That's Porter. I'm like, you don't understand what's happening.
I mean, Porter was doing his thing. He was doing his thing.
He was, but he wasn't winning the fight. He just wasn't winning the rounds. That was the issue.
He wasn't winning more rounds than Terrence. Terrence was controlling.
I mean, he had to work really hard to win a round. That dude, the rounds that he won were hard fun.
Yes. Terrence was tagging his ass up.
Anyway, I've been trying to get off the phone with your ass for a minute. Like, let me jump, dude. Enjoy the rest of the stream, man.
You too, man. It's good to see you, man.
Peace.
Yes, peace. Yeah, so people, it's good to get this smoke back on the channel. That was the fantastic stuff right there. J-Home MMA still in the building. So we're about to see Tank versus Pitbull. So I'll talk to you guys after the fight. Until then, enjoy. Once again, let me just put out there that I have a PayPal account. You can go to the PayPal account that says this here. And also, with Devin Haney versus JoJo Diaz in the aftermath, I just want to add that I think Devin Haney versus Kambosos would be a great fight. Devin Haney versus anybody would be a great fight. I'm not the highest Devin Haney fan, but he showed something against JoJo. He showed, that he was up to the challenge of stepping up in class with a fighter of JoJo Diaz's caliber. So looking forward to Haney versus Kambosos. And for JoJo Diaz, I'm looking forward to seeing him face another top fighter. So who knows? There are the following top fighters out there JoJo could still face: Jorge Linares. We got Vasily Lomachenko, Ryan Garcia, who JoJo called out after the Devin Haney fight. Maybe Ryan will now say, okay, I think I can deal with him. And then you got Richard Comey, who Vasily Lomachenko is supposed to be facing next. You have Nakatani. You have Raleigh Romero, and you got a bunch of other top lightweights, of course. Right now we got Pitbull out there, and we got Tank. So there's a bunch of them that JoJo Diaz can still face. And the fact that he crossed over and faced Devin Haney means that opens the door for more top fighters to face JoJo Diaz. And I'm pretty sure he's going to win some of those fights. A shout out to Get the Smoke. He also wants to see Devin Haney versus Gary Russell Jr. I mean, the sky's the limit. If Devin Haney becomes undisputed, I said if, it could be that Kambosos becomes undisputed. But let's say Devin Haney becomes undisputed. I'm pretty sure that's enough motivation for Gary Russell Jr. to jump up 2 weight classes to face Devin Haney, so Devin Haney could defend his title against Gary Russell Jr. So we might possibly see that fight if Devin Haney becomes undisputed. J-Ho Mehmet said that he thinks the Tank is going to get Cruz up out of there by the 9th round. And he also says, I disagree with you. Canelo has a dynamic high guard. Unlike JoJo, he gets hit less cleanly. True. He does have roving guards. He has several guards that he uses. And again, he uses virtual distancing. He leans in, with his guard. So in terms of guard, yes, again, like I said before, much more hone skills. But JoJo does a lot of things that Canelo just does not do. And one of them things is JoJo can actually box off the back foot or the front foot, and he can interchange with you, kind of like what Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford was doing. Sometimes one guy's walking down the other guy, and then they interchange, and the other guy's walking down the other guy. So JoJo could do all that stuff. He can reverse it, fight off the back foot, and box you off the back foot. And he has decent foot speed. I think he has better foot speed and much more better cardio and movement than, say, a Canelo. Okay, Canelo, I don't think his cardio will allow him to just continuously move on his feet. He doesn't have that kind of cardio. So he's very explosive, but don't have that kind of cardio. I think JoJo has that, though. So that's the difference. But I'm looking forward to both these guys. They're hell of a fighters, excellent boxers, and I'm looking forward to seeing them do great things. As for me, I wanted to do a fight at the end of this year. It seems as though I have to look to next year to get that fight down, because we still don't have, everything hasn't opened up yet. But good news is our curfew has come to an end. So in the country, we don't have any curfew. So I expect more businesses to open back up. In which case, then we may have more boxing sporting events, and I'll get to get in there and compete. Can't wait to show you guys the video of me competing. That would be great. But until then, what you need in the building. I'm gonna catch you guys later. You guys have a good night. Enjoy the fight, and I'll see you again. Peace.